I spent an entire evening flirting with a man I genuinely wanted. Touched my neck, moved closer, laughed too hard at things that weren't funny. At the end of the night, he thanked me for being friendly and drove home alone. He had no idea. Most men have no idea. Women don't flirt the way you think we do. Our signals are invisible unless someone from our side tells you what to look for. I'm a woman revealing 6 secret signs we use when we actually want you. Sign 5, the door opener. She'll only do it once, miss it, and she doesn't try again. She disappears. But sign 6? That's when she's already imagining a future with you in it, and you have no clue. Women flirt in a language most men were never taught to hear. These signals aren't random. They're involuntary responses her body can't suppress. Here's the first sign. It's happening right in front of you. Sign 1. The reset touch. The reset touch. When a woman is attracted to you, her hands start moving without permission. Hair adjustment, fingers brushing her neck, smoothing her clothes, fidgeting with a necklace. This isn't nervousness. This isn't boredom. This is her body preparing itself to be noticed by you, a biological display she cannot turn off. Have you ever watched a woman touch her hair 3 times during a single conversation with you? Every woman I know has been caught doing this. Her body has already decided you're worth impressing. Her hands are following orders her conscious mind never gave. She's not choosing to do it. She doesn't even know she's doing it. That's what makes it the most honest signal a woman can send. Her mouth can lie, her hands can't. I was talking to a man at a friend's dinner party. 20 minutes in, my phone buzzed. Text from my friend across the table. You fixed your hair 4 times. You're so into him. I looked down at my own hand mid-reach, frozen near my neck, like it belonged to someone else. I wasn't flirting, at least I didn't think I was. My body had announced a decision I hadn't made yet. That's what shook me. I didn't know until someone showed me what I was already doing. Most men see this and think she's distracted, bored, restless, dead wrong. When she's adjusting herself around you, don't acknowledge it. But let it tell you the door is cracking open. Hold eye contact 1 beat longer. Lean in slightly. Her body just confessed. Now yours should quietly answer. If her body is already adjusting for you, she's invested. But the next sign, that's when she tests whether you'll invest back. Sign 2. The proximity test. I moved my chair 3 times during a group dinner to end up next to a man I wanted. Each move had a reason. Better view, closer to the food, avoiding a draft. Every reason was a lie. The only thing I was trying to be closer to was him. He never noticed. Talked to the person on his other side all night. I sat there, inches away from a man I'd crossed a room for, and he treated me like furniture. Something in my chest tightened. Not rejection. Worse. Invisibility. I didn't try again. Not because I lost interest. Because my pride couldn't survive another attempt he didn't see. This is where most men have no idea what just happened. The proximity test. Women almost never approach directly. Instead, we eliminate distance and wait. She sits closer than necessary. Stands in your space at a party. Finds reasons to be near you. None of this is coincidence. She's done 90% of the work. She needs you to do the last 10. When was the last time a woman kept appearing in your space and you assumed it meant nothing? Ask any woman. We don't cross rooms for men we're not thinking about. Proximity is the invitation. Your response is the only answer she's listening for. When she enters your space, stay. Don't retreat. Lower your voice. Make her lean in closer. That shared space becomes private, even in a crowded room. She built the bridge. Walk across it. She's adjusting herself for you, moving closer. But the next sign, this is the one she's terrified you'll actually notice. Sign 3, the vulnerability flash. Here's how most men destroy this moment without knowing it. A woman tells you something personal, a fear, an insecurity, something she doesn't share easily, and you respond with, "Oh, that's cool," or immediately launch into your own story. You just failed a test you didn't know you were taking. Forget everything you think you know about building connection. This is where it actually happens. The vulnerability flash. When a woman shares something personal, slightly embarrassing, or emotionally exposed, especially early, it's not oversharing. It's a trust offering. She's handing you a key to see if you'll hold it carefully or drop it on the floor. Every woman I know has done this exactly once with a man she was testing. It's the highest risk signal we have. She's not showing interest. She's auditioning your character in real time. How you handle what she just exposed determines everything that follows. I told a man on a second date about a childhood fear I hadn't shared with friends I'd known for years. The second it left my mouth, my stomach dropped. Why did I just say that? I was scanning his face like my survival depended on it. He paused, looked at me, said, "Thank you for telling me that." 4 words. My entire body exhaled. I didn't realize I'd been holding my breath. That pause, those 4 quiet words, told me more about him than 3 dates of conversation ever could. I decided something about him in that moment I never undecided. When she exposes something real, don't match it. Don't rush to tell your own story. Pause. Let the weight of what she said sit between you. Then respond with something that proves you received it. Genuine warmth in 4 words will outperform any story you could offer. She's adjusted herself for you, moved closer, shown you something real. Men who recognize these first 3 signs see attraction completely differently. But we're just getting started. If those first 3 signs just changed what you thought about reading women, hit like right now. Subscribe, because sign 5 is the one she only does once. Miss it, and you'll never know she was yours to lose. Sign 4, the laugh lean. The laugh lean. When a woman laughs harder than your joke deserves, and her body tilts toward you while she does it, that's not humor appreciation. That's her body manufacturing an excuse to close distance. A man once told the most average joke I've ever heard. I laughed like he'd invented comedy. My friend across the table gave me a look that said, "What is wrong with you?" Honestly, I didn't know. Because later that night, I tried to remember what he'd actually said. Nothing. Completely gone. What I remembered was his mouth when he told it. The way his eyes narrowed right before the punchline. I wasn't responding to his words. My body needed a reason to move toward him, so it created one. That bewildered me. I'm not a woman who loses control of her own reactions. But sitting there, leaning into a joke I couldn't even recall, I realized my body had been running a program I never approved. Here's the part that might sting. When she's laughing like that, you're probably not as funny as you think. You're attractive. Her laughter is the evidence. Every woman I've discussed this with confirms the same thing. The laugh is the excuse. The lean is the confession. When she laughs and tilts toward you, don't perform harder. Don't chase a bigger reaction. You've already won. Hold steady. Lower your voice for whatever you say next. The contrast between her laughter and your calm creates a tension she'll feel in her chest long after the conversation ends. She's laughing. She's leaning. Everything is building. And then comes the sign I promised you from the beginning. The one with the highest consequences of any signal a woman will ever give you. Sign 5. The door opener. Failure story. I looked at a man at the end of a date and said, "I'm not really ready for this night to end." I said it once, clearly, with everything I had behind it. He smiled, agreed it was a wonderful evening, said goodnight, and drove away. He texted the next morning like nothing happened, but everything had happened. I had opened a door I never open, the kind that costs something to build. He walked past it like it was decoration. Something inside me didn't break. It closed, quietly, permanently. He asked me out 3 more times over the next month. I was always busy, not angry, not wounded, just gone. The woman who said those words in that parking lot no longer exists for him. He still doesn't know what he missed. He never will. This is the one I warned you about. Now you understand why. The door opener. A woman who wants you will create exactly one window for you to step through. She'll suggest extending the evening. She'll pause at a charged moment. She'll linger when she should leave. She'll say something that carries everything while sounding like almost nothing. I've had this conversation with countless women, and the answer never changes. We build the door once. If he doesn't walk through, we don't build another. Not because we're punishing him, because constructing that door requires exposing ourselves in a way that feels dangerous. If he doesn't respond, self-preservation locks it shut. No confrontation, no explanation. She simply reclassifies you as uninterested. And once that decision is made, there is no second audition. How many times has a woman said something to you that you processed as words instead of as an invitation? When she creates the opening, step through it, immediately, confidently, then let's not end it. The pause before your answer should last 1 second, long enough to show you heard her, not long enough for her to regret the courage it took to say it. That's the one that can't be undone. But there's one final sign. It sounds like the opposite of everything I just described, quiet, subtle, almost invisible. And it's the one that means she's already decided. Sign 6. The future plant. Here's what no one tells men about how women fall. It doesn't happen during the dramatic moments. It happens when she's alone, thinking about you, and catches herself building a life that has you in it. A restaurant she wants to try, with you. A trip she's planning, and you're there. A show she wants to watch. We should see it together. Those aren't casual suggestions. Those are blueprints. She's handing you the architecture of her imagination, hoping you'll help build it. I told a man, "There's this little place I've been wanting to try. It's exactly your kind of spot." What I actually heard myself say was, "I've been thinking about you when you're not around, placing you into my future without permission." The moment those words left my mouth, something shifted that I wasn't prepared for. I wasn't just attracted anymore. I'd been planning around him, imagining weekends, considering his preferences in my decisions. He'd become part of my life without either of us agreeing to it. That terrified me, not because I didn't want it, but because I couldn't undo it. When he said, "Yeah, we should definitely do that sometime," and never brought it up again, something went quiet inside me. Not desire, something deeper. A future I'd started constructing went dark. He didn't reject me. He just failed to show up in the space I'd already made for him. This is what she texts her best friend about. Not what you did, what you didn't. The future plant. When a woman places you into scenarios that haven't happened yet, she's not making conversation. She's casting you in the story of her life. She's already decided you belong there. Your only job is to not talk her out of it. When she plants a future, lock it in. Friday? Not, "Yeah, we should totally do that sometime." Specificity is how you tell her you're stepping into the world she's building. A day, a time, a real commitment. Sometime is a rejection wearing a smile. Friday at 7 is a man who just told her she was right to imagine him there. These signs never appear alone. One could be friendliness. 3 in the same conversation is an invitation she's constructing in real time. The sequence matters. The reset touch comes first, unconscious, automatic. Then the proximity test, deliberate but deniable. The laugh lean follows, her body overriding her composure. If she's genuinely invested, the vulnerability flash or future plant surfaces next. The door opener always comes last. It demands the most courage. When you spot the first 4, pay attention. The 5th is approaching, and you only get one chance to walk through it. Men with life experience hold an unfakeable advantage here. You spent decades reading rooms, reading silences, reading what people withhold. That awareness is exactly what makes these signals visible to you, while younger men are still debating whether she's being polite. You're not acquiring a new skill. You're finally naming what you've been sensing your entire life. 6 signs. 6 moments where she revealed exactly what she wanted. The reset touch, the proximity test, the vulnerability flash, the laugh lean, the door opener, the future plant. Each one an invitation with an expiration date. These aren't tricks to memorize. They're a language women have been speaking around you for years that nobody taught you to translate. Every signal you missed was a woman who wanted you, quietly deciding you didn't want her back. That ends today. You already carry the patience and the presence that makes these signs readable. Younger men are stumbling through guesswork. You've earned the awareness to recognize what's standing right in front of you. The women sending these signals aren't rare. They're everywhere. They're just waiting for a man perceptive enough to finally answer. If this changed how you read women, hit like right now. Comment which sign you've been missing. I want to know. Subscribe, because this is just the beginning of understanding what we're actually telling you. Stop guessing what she wants. Start hearing what she's already saying.